What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to Comic Breakdown. In this video, we are jumping into Blade issue number 1, a story by Bryan Hill. The artist is Elena Casagrande, and the color artist is Jordi Belair. Now, for most of us, we know that Eric Brooks, he is the half-human, half-vampire hybrid known as Blade, possessing vampiric strength, senses, and longevity, but still being able to withstand the daylight, dedicating his life to a lifetime of battling the supernatural evils. But now he is getting ready to face against the greatest of all of them yet. So make sure you guys have subscribed to the channel, make sure that you like this video, and with that being said, let's dive into this breakdown. Alright gang, so as we dive into this issue, we are picking up at a nightclub. A young woman sitting down having a drink. As the music plays, the vampires, they prepare to feast, locking up the doors, not allowing anybody to leave. When the fangs come out, that is when the screams begin. As this woman, she makes a break for it. She runs for the door, only to find that there are chains on it, pounding on it, trying to get out. The vampires come descending down on her. But in that moment, there is a car that comes crashing through the wall. Headlights bright enough to burn the vampires that stand in front of it. And stepping out is none other than the Daywalker, wielding his swords in hand, telling the girl that she should get somewhere and hide now. And that is where Blade begins to lay down the hate. One by one, he starts decapitating and tearing apart all of these vampires. With killing a good majority of them, the rest of them run. Blade going over to this woman and helping her up. He gets her in the vehicle and they head out. Now Blade, he pretty much gives her all the information that she needs. Who he is, what he does, so on and so forth. She does go to ask why in the world were they trying to kill me, because she was told that this club would be safe. But Blade lets her know that somebody lied to you, and to understand why Blade is helping her out, we have to go back 1 week. A young man put up on the wall, all different types of blades coming out of his body. Blade is sitting here talking with Tanaka. Blade curious on why he is even here to begin with, why Blade was called. But Tanaka goes on to say that the Werewolf Nation does have a friend in Blade. What they are asking is for Blade to protect a girl that he is currently with. She's not vampire or werewolf, but she seems to be very important, saying that she is charmed and she is being hunted. Going on to elaborate that there is a shift in the second world, the one of vampires, werewolves, everything else in between. They can all feel it. That if Blade was a full-blood, he would feel it as well. The girl's name is Dana Smith. She seems to be at the center of all of it, but they don't know why. The elders and everybody else in between, they don't know why she's at the center of it, but she is at the center of a whole lot of nightmares, and there is something much worse that is hunting her. The elders did know that she needs to stay alive. The first and second worlds all depend on it. And so the mission is to keep her alive and find out why someone wants her dead. Asking what is hunting her. Tanaka says that they don't have a name for it. Something that might be immortal. It is a mystery from whence it came. Hoping that Blade can get to her first. This is when the dude on the wall comes alive. Blade throwing his sword at this guy's head, letting Tanaka know that you're looking for an assassin who can turn dead bodies into undead weapons. And now he is chasing a girl that you don't know why, and if he kills her, the world ends. But he tells Tanaka that if you're lying to me, that he won't be able to howl fast enough to do anything. That's what takes us back over to present day. And Dana really doesn't understand why anybody would be hunting her, saying that she was on the couch with her boyfriend, and then that thing showed up. It killed him and she ran. Someone had sent her a text telling her that she would be safe in the club, so she showed up, and everything else went down. The house that they are at belongs to Tanaka, saying that he's on the way, but in the meantime, she's trying to give as much information as she can, asking about the man that had killed her boyfriend. As soon as that question is asked, something comes in from the ceiling, talking in a language that Blade doesn't understand. He does understand that this thing is an assassin. As it draws out its sword, Blade draws out his. The two of them going toe-to-toe, but with Blade getting thrown across the room. We see Dana begin to glow, the assassin's sword turning to flame. As he lifts that sword above his head, going to strike down Dana, Blade is able to cause a distraction, to drive his sword into the assassin's foot. As this fight continues on, we see Blade start to get the upper hand, with him cutting this monster in two. There is a giant, blinding blue light that fills the entire house. Rising up to his feet, seeing that Dana is still breathing, letting Blade know that she hasn't felt this good in 5,000 years. Telling Blade that she has been a fan of his for a very long time, with Blade saying that whatever you are inside of Dana, using her as a weapon, as a vessel. Her name is Adana, and Blade just killed the only person in the world that could destroy her. Well, technically, it is a sword. That is the only thing that can kill her, and that man had trained his entire life to do so, and he very easily would have, had it not been for Blade. Blade at this point understands. He was used. Whoever this person is, they are the bad guy. That's where Blade takes his sword and he cuts off her head. But even in doing so, she is still able to talk, saying the sword that she is wielding is the only sword that can defeat her, that she has come to destroy the first and second worlds and form a new one, that Tanaka had served her well. And because she likes Blade, she will allow him to live, to see what comes next. Taking down Blade, this is where we see her walk outside. She takes that sword and she splits it right down her face. Grabbing hold of the skin, she rips herself open. We see the transformation and then she disappears. That is what takes us to Cambodia. 13 days later, we pick up with a woman by the name of Ratha. This is that assassin's sister, and right now, they have Blade that is hanging from the ceiling. Right now, he is facing punishment for what he has done, as they shoot arrows into him, as they pierce his skin. We see Ratha betray her brothers, killing everyone in the room, talking to Blade, letting Blade know that her name is Ratha, that they have mere minutes, that she will free him as long as he promises to help, that they are going to stop that monster from ending all of creation. With Blade saying, why not, let's save the world. Ratha going on to say that Blade is much different than what she expected, and he lets her know that she has no idea. And that will be the end of this issue. So let me know what you guys think down in the comments. I'm not gonna lie, I'm a little bit disappointed. I was really hoping for Blade, the vampire sheriff, the sheriff of the vampire nation, a storyline that was created like 2 freaking years ago. And the only thing that we have got from it so far was a one-shot. And so now, years later, Blade gets a storyline. They give him an issue number 1. And they completely ignore the fact that he was the vampire sheriff. That Dracula set up a whole nation, and the Avengers essentially made Blade the freaking sheriff. And it seems like nobody at Marvel wants to pick up this story and write it. Nobody wants to do anything with it. It's just gonna simply fade into obscurity. But alright, sure, you know, let's do that. When it comes to this story, it's not a bad story. I'm interested to see where it goes, what happens with it. But, you know, it's a typical Blade story. He cuts off some vampires' heads, they do some damage to him, he ends up murdering them in the end, and then we move on. This new villain does seem very interesting. I'm excited to see where that's gonna go, how it's all gonna be played out, and what really is going on here. How all of this is going to affect the supernatural world. But yeah, like I said, not a bad story. It's an interesting story. I'm definitely willing to see where it goes. I'm pretty let down that it wasn't the vampire sheriff story. But hopefully, as we continue on, this story will get more appealing and more interesting. Now, if you want to get caught up on everything that we have been covering on this channel, I highly recommend that you go ahead, check out the links in my description, as well as the top of this video. It will take you to all of the playlists that we have set up with every single title that you could possibly imagine. If you would like to support the channel, you can always do so by joining the channel membership, much like Patreon, having multiple different tiers, from $1 to $50, from loyalty badges to comics every single month. Not only are you helping out the channel tremendously, but you are getting tons of perks in the process. Now, if you are unable to do this, do me a favor, subscribe to the channel, like this video, hit that notification bell, and with that being said, until the next breakdown.